We are live for another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be breaking down Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. We were able to get a win last week. Let me pull up the results. On the Contender Series, we got a win. We got butchered in UFC last Saturday. So quick recap of last week's Contender Series Week 8. We ended up profiting 0.6 units, cashed on Damian Pinos, lost on Fight Ghost and Kubanza Alvidrez, cashed a 2-leg parlay with the Jordan Diaz over 1.5 and Vegabov da Silva over 1.5, and I lost on Campbell sub or decision. And then Saturday on UFC, I got cooked. I had Ju Sang Yu for a unit, lost that. Veretennikov with the worst game plan of all time, lost that. And then I had various parlays, really forced with the parlays. That was no good. I had Vanderford and Mix in one of them, Ankalaev and Basharat in another. I had Ankalaev ITD. I got rinsed. I got absolutely rinsed. Terrible reads, even worse bets. Honestly, the bets were just horrendous and would really, really like to turn it around. I got a chip on my shoulder. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing, but need to get it back in the win column. And hopefully we can do that with a solid win tomorrow. And let's see what we can do. I'll catch up with the chat, and then we'll jump into the card. We got Drone Rookie. What's up, Drone Rookie? Thank you for tuning in. We got Jackson. Thanks for coming on as always, brother. Leave a like. Listen to Jackson. He's a wise, wise man. Autophonic. What's up, Auto? Vologdin to win until he gets finished because Sweden. Okay. Drone Rookie. I just found out 5 minutes ago. Fernandez on the. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this in a second. I have so much to say about this fight. All right. And what's good, Jammer? My guy, one of the real ones in the space. Thank you for tuning in, Jammer. All right, so first fight of week number 9, we have Rafael Pergentino versus Luke Fernandez. Pergentino is 5-0 undefeated. Might be the most fraudulent record ever. He's don't have his height or his reach. On the other side, Luke Fernandez 5-0 undefeated as well. Same record, but they mean very different things. He's 30 years old. He's 6'2". They were about the same height at face-offs today, but you can see who the real athlete is and who's not. And I'll leave it at that. And Fernandez is the real athlete, if you didn't get that part. Look, Pergentino, I honestly think he might be the worst. Like, I know you hear it all the time, but like, watch his tape. Watch his tape. He might actually be the worst fighter we've ever seen on the Contender Series, bar none. I mean, like every fight I do, and Jammer, he's seen my notes. He knows what I'm talking about. Every fight I tape, every bet I make, I've got notes for it, right? I got a chart, and I have strengths and weaknesses. I had nothing good to say about him. Nothing at all. He's horrible. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I respect all fighters, but like, he's not good. He does not belong anywhere near the UFC. And then the whole thing is so strange. Like, he's never even fought at light heavyweight. He's fought at heavyweight, which is bizarre in its own right because he's not a heavyweight. And he's fought at middleweight, but he's never fought at light heavyweight. So they bring him in to fight at light heavyweight. And like, please do me a favor. Like do yourself a favor and go watch his tape. It's not long. He's never left the first round. And it's unlike anything I've ever seen from like, there's things I don't want to really talk about, but like, it's super strange. And then the fighting itself is just bizarre. Like this one fight right here, Edward Garnier, my God, like I have no words. Like Pergentino, he on the feet, he's literally just swinging as wild as he can. No technique, no jab, no semblance of anything. Like he looks like a guy who just stepped in the gym. That's what he looks like. Like he just swings wild, incredibly hittable, zero defense whatsoever. Cardio, don't even get me started. He's got about 1 minute in the tank, and that's it. Takedown defense is abysmal. How he's even gotten wins over these terrible guys, I don't know, because they're terrible, but like he's really terrible too. It's horrible. He's really, really, really bad. And Fernandez is good. Fernandez is a legit prospect. He's a little old, 30 years old to be making a UFC, getting to the UFC, but it's okay. It's light heavyweight. It's a pretty shallow division, and he's solid. Like he's not bad anywhere. He's a good striker. He's got a lot of power. He mixes it up well. He's got good combinations, good kicks, good boxing, targets the body. Like I said, a lot of power, and he can grapple too. He's doing a lot of grappling comp as well. The Fury stuff. He's taking on UFC guys. I believe Eric Anders was one of them, and there was another one that I don't remember off the top of my head. Like Fernandez can kill him anywhere anywhere. Fernandez should absolutely run through him. Now, this is MMA. It's anything can happen. Like, as bad as I think Pergentino is, he has arms and he swings them, and I guess he hits a little bit hard. So, of course, a lucky punch can happen. Shout out to my guy Danilo Voivodkin when he pulled that off. Completely the worst fighter, but just got a one-punch knockout. It can happen for sure. It's just like Voivodkin was on steroids at least. Like, Pergentino certainly doesn't look like he's on steroids, and if he is, they're really bad ones. But yeah, Fernandez can beat him anywhere. He can knock him out immediately. I think he can take him down and submit him. He can take him down and TKO him. I don't think Pergentino has an answer for anything. And like, if by some miracle, right? If by some miracle Pergentino knocks out Fernandez with a lucky shot, Dana will sign him because that's what he does. There's no one he can beat in the UFC. Absolutely no one. No one. Like, the worst guys you can think of, he's not coming close. Like, I'm fairly certain that if they brought him in, Jose Medina could beat him. I'm like pretty positive about that because Medina at least has some semblance of technique, and he's tough. Like, Pergentino's maybe tough, I guess. We haven't really seen it tested because he's fighting no one, but he has nothing. Like, no technique. It's we're gonna stop wasting time because I can go on all day about how horrible this is. I think Fernandez knocks him out in the first round. He can sub him too if he wants, though. Yeah, the Fernandez fight is definitely a squash match, and yeah, I mean it's not old for MMA. It's just kind of old to be getting your start in the UFC, in my opinion. It doesn't really leave him a lot of years to build up and get to the top. But again, like I said, light heavyweight is a very shallow division, so it's not that bad to be 30. It would be worse at like bantamweight. Anyways, moving on, we have Donavon Hedrick versus Luis Felipe Diaz. Hedrick, he's 6-0 undefeated. He's going to be 28 years old, 6'1", don't have his reach. Diaz, 15-5-0. He's 30. He's 2 years older. He's going to be 1 inch shorter or 2 inches shorter, but they looked around the same height at face-offs. He's at PRVT. Hedrick's at Fusion XL, which is a good gym for him. This is a really weird fight and one that it's almost impossible to have a proper read on. Like, anyone who's confident on this, like, I don't know how. Because on one hand, you have Donavon Hedrick, who's fought absolutely nobody, like horrible, horrible competition. And some of the fights are just so strange. Like, one guy knocked himself out on a takedown. I think that was the most recent one. And then the other ones, like, they just offer no resistance whatsoever. But, you know, he looks like the goods. He looks like he could be a good prospect. He's 28 years old. He's pretty big. He's not huge for the division, but he's got size. His striking, I don't know much about because he's almost always going for takedowns, but his striking is decent from what I've seen. He can box a little bit. The kicks are okay. And he's got good wrestling. You know, he can wrestle well, but I don't know what he's going to look like out of round one because he's never done it. He's knocked out everybody in the first round, finished them all in the first round. I don't remember if he maybe had a sub in there, but does it say on here? KO. Yeah, he got a sub here, but mostly knockouts. And it's all just immediate. Like, he's faced no resistance. So we don't know how he faces adversity. We don't know how he's going to be out of round one. But, you know, that doesn't always mean that they can't go out of round one. You know, Zach Reese, when he finally made it out of the first round against Medina, again, not much resistance there, but he showed he can do it. Then he did it again the fight after with Dusko. Who's another example? Dolgarian gave C-Rod a good fight after having never left the first round and beating only bums. So it's entirely possible that Hedrick, you know, he is an athlete, clearly. It's possible that he does have the cardio and he can handle the adversity, and the skills seem to be there. Diaz is just a really weird case. I mean, he's been out for 2 years. 2 years and 2 months. This fight against this Daniel Oliveira is filmed on a potato. You can't see anything. I didn't know that you can even record in such a quality. You can see him like vaguely going for a takedown. That's about all you can see. And then the fight before that isn't counted on his record because it's illegitimate, apparently. And then before that, you know, he has losses to guys who aren't bad. Like, Luis Cotto's like a solid regional guy. Bandel is a solid regional guy who can grapple. But, like, his wins, like, and Tunes, if you guys remember him, not very good. The slow stretch is impressive. But, like, his competition is not great. He's super inactive. He looks like he's on a ton of the good vitamins. So that might be in his favor. Striking's not that great. Very flat-footed, very hittable. I've seen more of his striking than I've seen Hedrick's, and he does seem to maybe be a little bit more technical than Hedrick in the striking. He's got a jab. He'll follow it up decently well. The combinations are solid enough. He's got a decent bit of power, but he's very hittable. I don't think he takes shots well. He slows down pretty big, and his takedown defense is pretty poor. So I don't really know what to make of this fight. On one hand, I think Hedrick has a higher ceiling and is more of an athlete and can possibly, compete in the UFC. Diaz, I do not think can compete in the UFC. I think he would get washed out by just about anybody. I don't think he has the skill set. Now, he's been out for 2 years since he was 28 to 30. Maybe he's made really big improvements. He's got those vitamins going. Maybe he's going to come in a brand new fighter, and maybe Hedrick can handle, adversity, or maybe he can go up past the first round. We don't know. So there's zero chance I'm betting on this fight. I'm going to go with Hedrick. I'll just pick him to knock out Diaz with his ring rust. But there's zero confidence there. All right, next up we have Imanol Rodriguez versus Roque Jr. Rodriguez 5-0, undefeated, 25 years old. He's not 5'2". There's no way. They're about the same height, these two guys, so I'll call him 5'4". Roque Jr. on the other side, 10-2-0. He's 25 as well. He's going to be 5'4" as well. They're the same height, like I said. And this is probably, let me think real quick. What are the other fights? I think this is the highest level fight on the card and the most well matched, honestly. Like when I first pulled them up, I was like, okay, it's Imanol Rodriguez. If you guys don't know who that is, he was on The Ultimate Fighter season 33. He knocked out Arishan Memon, I think is his name. Knocked him out in the first, looked pretty good doing it, and then had a really competitive fight against the guy who just won the tournament. What's his name? Joseph Morales. And a lot of people felt like he beat Morales. I can honestly understand the Morales scorecards. I don't think it was a robbery. I think I lean towards Imanol winning that fight, but I think it was close. I think either side winning is fine. And I think because of that, because a lot of people felt like Imanol won, because Morales went on to win the tournament very dominantly, I think that's why we're seeing the line we're seeing, because if you erase all of that and you just look at their skills and look at their tape, to me, this is a 50-50 fight, or at worst, slight favorite on Imanol, because I think he has a little bit more grappling to offer. But outside of that, I think this is a really close fight. And first off, what's good, Tim? Good to see you in there, brother. Jammer saying he's hyped to see Imanol on here. Yeah, I'm hyped too. I was a little disappointed that he lost to Morales, just because I want young blood in the UFC, but like he's gonna make it there, whether it's through tomorrow or later on. I kind of feel like it's not going to be tomorrow, because I think Roque can beat him, and let's talk about it. So on the feet, like you look at Imanol, and he's a good striker. Like he's solid. I do think that he's a better grappler than he is a striker. I do like the way he goes to the body. It doesn't take much. Once you start throwing uppercuts to the body, like I'm like, all right, I like you. Like I love that kind of stuff. He'll mix it into his combinations pretty well. Like the striking's solid, and he clearly has a lot of power, but I think he can wing pretty wild at times. I think he slows down a little bit on the feet, and I don't really know how to explain it, but I just feel like he doesn't have much of a process standing. I feel like he can't really put together 15 minutes of like kickboxing. Like if you put him into a kickboxing match, I'd be really interested to see how that would work out, because maybe he doesn't seem super comfortable to me. Something about it. I feel like if he's stuck on the feet for 15 minutes, he's not going to look like he looked against Memon. Is that his name? Let me make sure. Yeah, Memon. Like, I don't think it's going to look the same way over 15 minutes. And even then, honestly, in the moments where Memon wasn't dying, he was landing. He was landing, and he was doing an okay job on the feet. But I just don't think that Rodriguez can do that over 15 minutes standing. I think in this fight in particular, he's going to have to get takedowns, because I think Roque Jr. is a better striker. I like his striking a lot, clearly coming from a Muay Thai style. I really like the kicks. I think the kicks are nice. The leg kicks, the body kicks, he mixes it well into the combinations. The hands are the best part. He's got good boxing, solid in the pocket. He's fast there. Clearly has a lot of power. He'll rip to the body. And I just think he's cleaner. I like his striking a lot, and I low-key think he might hit harder too. I think he, in terms of pure power, I think he might have more of it. Now, I think Imanol is the better grappler. I think Imanol has the better wrestling, better jiu-jitsu, and he can probably take Roque down. But Roque's got pretty good takedown defense for the most part. And for the most part, he's pretty quick to get back up, and I do like the get-ups. So for me, it's a dog or pass. Again, if Rodriguez was like minus 125, I can understand that because of the possible wrestling advantage. And I also do like that he trains with Cormier at Cormier's new gym, Fight Academy or Academy Fight Club, something like that. I do like that for him. But I just think the Junior is going to be very competitive here. I think Junior can get the upset. I think Junior might be a little bit more likely for a knockout. I think, and like I said, I think he's the better striker. So he's the big dog, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick Junior to get it done. I think he's going to get a decision. It'll be a good fight, though. Drinking no things. What's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. He agrees dog or pass. Irish, what's up, Irish? Even though hand speed stuck out to me, but do agree Roque cleaner. Yeah, I mean Rodriguez is fast, but he slows down a little bit in my opinion. Like not to say he has bad cardio. He has good cardio, but I do think he slows down a bit. And that time against Morales was the first time he ever made it to a decision too. Yeah, I saw those. But hey, to be fair, I saw a lot of them on Pereira, and I saw a lot of them for Jiri, and Jiri and Pereira both won. So they're not always bad. All right, moving on. We have Adrian Luna Martinetti versus Mark Vologdin. Martinetti, 16-1-0, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 71-inch reach. Vologdin, 12-3-1. He's 25, so he's 5 years younger. He's 3 inches shorter, even though it looks like even more than that. And yeah, so this is a really interesting matchup. Martinetti, when I first pulled up his Tapology, I was like, this guy's really familiar. Wasn't he on the Contender series already? And he hasn't, but his brother was, and he lost there. So that's what I was remembering. But I'm having a really hard time getting a read on Martinetti, and I can't quite figure out how good I think he is. Like, I'm quite unsure. With Vologdin, I think he's good. My problem is that he's tiny, and he could probably make atom weight. I don't know why he's not at least at flyweight, because sometimes you get these really short guys who are too short for the division, but at least they're really stocky. And he's stocky, but it doesn't look like he can't make 125. Like, I'm fairly confident he can get to 115 at least. So I don't love that. I don't love his size. I'm worried that, look, on the feet, I don't think it's going to be such a huge problem in this fight. In future fights against guys who can manage their range, he's going to be in really big trouble, Vologdin. But against Martinetti, why am I having such a hard time saying his name? Martinetti. Okay. Against Martinetti, Martinetti's not really he's not really maintaining his range. He's a long, lanky guy, but he's not really using the jab to keep you away. He's not really using lateral movement. His lateral movement's okay, but it's nothing. He's not great at range management, at distance control. The kicks are pretty good, but he's not teeping. A teep will help keep your opponent away and keep them at kicking range. He's not really doing a lot of teeps. He'll mix them in, but not really. But he does have good kicks overall, good leg kicks for sure. The hands, I can't get a read on. Sometimes in some fights, Martinetti seems to have actually some slick boxing, mostly when his opponents are up against the cage. But other ones, I think it was this fight, or maybe this one. No, I think it was this one. He just sprints in like this. Just like a flurry of and just runs forward, and that's terrible. That's terrible. So I can't get a great read on his striking, but from what I can make out, I don't think he has the range management to keep Vologdin away and use his size advantage. And Vologdin's this isn't his first time fighting a guy bigger than him. It happens pretty much every single time, and you can tell he's doing well against them. Yeah, they're on their lower level. They don't take shots very well. But I don't know how well Martinetti can take shots either. It seems like he could, but he hasn't fought a ton of hard hitters. And Vologdin, as small as he is, he hits really hard. And what he does that I love is he rips to the body. He rips to the body really nice. Then he'll come upstairs. The combinations are great. He's got good kicks. The spinning kicks are good. I don't love them. If you know me, I don't like spinning stuff in general. I just think it's that doesn't work most of the time. But if you use it here and there and it's solid and you're fast, then it's pretty good. But Where I am worried about the size is in the grappling, right? Because I think that both guys are solid grapplers. I think Martinetti, his strength is probably his grappling and his jiu-jitsu, but he's not like a great wrestler. Whereas Vologdin is a very good wrestler. I like his wrestling a lot. He has great entries, great timing. I really like his wrestling, but he can lose position at times. He can be a little bit submission over position. He'll fall off the top when he has the back, stuff like that. And Martinetti, he's scrambly, and he's also got those long limbs. And I'm really concerned that in some scramble positions, Martinetti's going to end up taking the back, and Vologdin can either, get subbed. I don't think he will. He seems tough, but he could end up losing around that way. I can also see him getting locked up in like a triangle because Martinetti has those long limbs. I just think this can get really greasy, and it's hard for me to get a read on Martinetti. So it's hard for me to be confident. I do like Vologdin. I think he's going to win a decision. I think it's going to be a lot of grappling, but if Martinetti's chin isn't that great, because like I said, I haven't seen it tested all that much, I could see Vologdin getting him out of there at some point. I lean towards this going over. I like the over, but it's a 1.5. But if someone does get an early finish, I think it's going to be Vologdin. He's so small, which worries me, but he should be okay. All right, we got our main event for Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. We got Lucas Caldas versus Magomed Zaynukov. Caldas 6-1-0, 29 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Zaynukov 7-0, undefeated. He's 30, so he's 1 year older. He's going to be this. It says he's 2 inches taller, but at face-offs, they looked like they were the same height. If anything, Caldas looked a little bit bigger. And then Caldas is going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. So Zaynukov is interesting because you look at the last name, you look at his Instagram, he's training with Habib and all of them, Islam, and you think, okay, another Russian wrestler. But he actually comes from a Muay Thai background, from what I can tell, and he seems to have a solid record in Muay Thai. He seems to be good at it when you look at his striking in MMA, and he actually has a Wikipedia page, which is unusual for Dana White's Contender Series guys. I guess it's because of the Muay Thai, but he's good. He's good. I like a lot about his game. I like his striking. I think he's really clean. He's technical. His leg kicks are nasty. His kicks in general are nasty. He's got really nice step-in elbows and step-in knees, which I like a lot. He's got good clinch knees and elbows too. He's good in the clinch. And he's just very slick. He's very technical. He low-key doesn't have the best takedown defense, but I don't think that's going to be a problem against Caldas, who doesn't really wrestle. And he can't. Zaynukov can wrestle when he needs to sometimes. His wrestling's pretty good. The entries are nice. The control is okay. He's solid in the grappling department, but you can tell he prefers to strike, and he's good at it. And his defense is pretty good, but he can get caught once you start closing the distance. And I do think he needs some space to work. I think he gets a little bit uncomfortable because I think he's more comfortable with his kicks than he is with his hands. And then with Caldas, he's a guy who is very comfortable with his hands. He doesn't kick as much. He's mostly throwing big shots with the hands. And, putting everything else aside, striking wise, I think he's competitive with Zaynukov. I think he hits harder than Zaynukov. And I think that if everything else can hold up, and I'll talk about what everything else is, if everything else can hold up, and he's fighting like he always does, pressuring, being on the front foot, putting his opponent on the back foot, moving forward, I could see him giving Zaynukov problems. Because, like I said, I think Zaynukov needs space to work, and Caldas does his best work when he can get his opponents back to the cage, which I think can happen here. And that's when he starts to let it go. And I think his striking is maybe not on the level of Zaynukov's, but comparable. And I think his power, he has more power with the hands. Now, the two things I was mentioning before, the problems with Caldas are, A, his chin and his defense. Those are together for me. His defense is not good, and his chin is not good. He's getting wobbled a lot. He's getting hit a lot. And I think that Zaynukov is going to be a lot more technical, a lot cleaner. He's going to stay a lot more defensively sound, and I think he can knock Caldas out. The other problem with Caldas is he's never been to a decision, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's never been to a decision. I'm pretty sure he's never left the only time he left the first round was this fight where he got disqualified. So I don't really know what his cardio is going to look like. In this fight where he got disqualified, I'll talk about it in a second. He looked good in the second round. Towards the end of the second round, he was still pressuring, he was still throwing. So my gut is telling me that his cardio is fine. And honestly, I saw Zaynukov slow down in a couple of his fights that got extended. So if that chin holds up and he's able to constantly put Zaynukov on the back foot, I think that an upset is live here. And also, this is just crazy, this disqualification, because You watch that fight, and in that same round, he illegally knees the guy. The guy's grounded, and he knees him in the head. Commentary doesn't say a word. Ref doesn't say a word. Nothing. Then his opponent's completely gashed, falling all over the place. Then his opponent's like falling over. He soccer kicks him. At first, it looked like he soccer kicked him in the head. It was to the body, but they don't say a word about that. They're not like, oh, was that to the head? Nothing. They're just like, okay, yeah, good. Then his opponent's on the ground, and he stomps on him, and then that's what they DQ him for. I thought stomps were fine. We have foot stomps happening all the time in the UFC, but I was looking it up, and I guess I thought stomps to the head obviously not allowed, but I would think to the body it's fine. But apparently, in most MMA rule sets, you're not allowed to stomp at all. So I'm surprised fighters have gotten away with it with the foot stomps, but it turns out they're just illegal. But anyways, for this fight, I am going to pick Zaynukov just because he's a cleaner, more technical striker, seems to have a better chin, definitely has better defense. And if someone is going to have wrestling that they can go to here, it's going to be Zaynukov. But I wouldn't bet on him at this line because I do think that Caldas can beat him. I'll go KO 2. And that's it. That's it, guys. That's Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. It's a very interesting card. I'll go through my picks one more time, and please do yourselves a favor and go watch Rafael Pergentino's tape. It'll take you like 10 minutes, and it's a comedy experience. But I'm going Luke Fernandez by destruction. I'm going Hedrick, but you can't be confident at all. There's very little information. I'm going Roque Jr. for the upset. I'm going Vologdin, and I'm going Zaynukov. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace out and good luck tomorrow.